All right, well, this is a little look at the Banggood Arduino starter kit. There are a couple variants on Banggood, but this one is, I think, a little bit bigger, but it's a very popular one, so it's got a lot of components. It's around, approximately $30 US, plus or minus $5 or so. So I've already opened it, but I didn't disrupt the components too much. Pretty much the way as packed, but I did take a sneak peek. So here it has the Arduino starter kit key or guide, or what do you want to call it, to all the things you get. So I'm just going to sort of refer to that and take the things out as we go. Okay, so I want to say right away from the beginning, I'm pretty impressed with this kit, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. So one thing you'll notice is that the Uno board, it's not a genuine Arduino. It doesn't matter because it's open source. It's not like fake or anything. It's just not the Arduino company that made it. And then we have the USB cable. We have an expansion, which I don't know what that is. I'm a beginner in this stuff. I don't really know what a lot of these things are. A mini breadboard, where you plug in your wires. A 5-volt step motor. A motor driver board, which allows you to actually use the step motor, it looks like. An integrated circuit. A SW520D, no idea what that is. A flame sensor, I think that's a heat sensor. LM35, no idea, but it has 3 things coming out of it, so maybe it's a transistor or something. IR receiver, infrared receiver. CDS, good old CDS, no idea what that is. I guess I'll find out what all these are. Red, green, and yellow LEDs, 5 each. It's pretty generous. 4 key switches, I think those are momentary push buttons, but you can put caps on them. This is what it looked like without a cap. Here's some caps. I assume that they go in here. Another breadboard. You'll notice that some of the components are not really listed in the most intelligent order. Why are the 2 breadboards in different places? That's a big breadboard. 1 servo, which I'm familiar with because I'm in the radio control hobbies. Resistors, or they say resistance. We have 1K and 10K. Quite a few there. A buzzer, active buzzer, and a passive buzzer. Active buzzer, I think, means that you just give it voltage and it makes a noise. Passive buzzer means you have to supply it with an oscillating signal. As far as I know, 1602 display, that would be an LED display, I think. Or remote control, which is pretty cool. That would go along with the IR receiver that we looked at. 7-segment LED. Another 7-segment LED, but 4 of them. A matrix, LED matrix, we can make pretty little pictures and patterns with. Jumper wires, you need those for your breadboard. FF DuPont wire. No idea. Storage box, no idea why they gave you that, but it'll come in handy. A pot, 10K pot. Pin header. A battery for good measure. Some more resistance, 220 resistors, 330 resistors, and the box. All right, so let's just take a look at all these things. So that is your servo. That's your trusty box to store things in. That's your 9-volt battery, which is always going to be this funky, obscure Chinese brand, Samjiang. LEDs. Those are all the LEDs, all 3 colors, RGB. These are buttons and a pot, a potentiometer in there. And some buttons and some caps that go on the buttons. The USB cable, which is used to plug in the Arduino. Some thingies. Well, I don't know what those are. It's flame, it says W520D on the side, but whatever, I don't know what that is. Remote control, which is pretty awesome. Wow. Amazing what you get for 30 bucks. Pin header. I know what those are for my radio control hobby. I've soldered those onto circuit boards. And you can attach the servo connectors to it. I know that much. This is the 7-segment or LED, or what is this? Oh, the 1602 display. I wonder what kind of display this is. I only have one hand free because I'm holding the camera, but yeah, well, yeah, it's a display. This is a breadboard. This is a rather large item. It's pretty nice. One of the reviews on this said this was a surprisingly nice quality one, so yeah. Awesome. I might make another, or add on to this video by, oh, and here's our awesome resistors. So I'm going to have to learn how to read these stripes. You can read the stripes on the resistors, see what value they are, but it looks like they didn't skimp on the resistors. And I want to say that the description online on their web shop doesn't actually say how many you get. It almost makes it look like you only get one of each kind of resistor, and I thought that was strange because I certainly need a lot more. That says 220. I think I actually need 220 ohms for the course, the free online course that I'm taking. So that's a relief. And 10. Okay, so let's just line up these resistors. 1K. All right. I don't know if that's 10 ohms or I don't know anything about resistance. 1K ohm, and you get 3, 4, 5, 10 of each. Okay, so 10 of these, 10 1K, 10 of these 10 thingies, 10 220 ohm. Pretty sure that's 220 ohm because that's like a standard size resistor. And 330, I guess that's 330 ohms. It's not much different than 220, is it? But anyway, you've got 40 resistors there. And these are your jumper cables. So these will plug into said breadboard over here into the holes. And goes like that. I just figured out what, or I just learned what breadboard is, how it works yesterday. So just give you an idea of how much of a newbie I am. All right, that's for the 9-volt battery. To plug in the 9-volt battery to, I guess the Uno has this coaxial AC adapter style thingy input. All right, this is the motor driver, and I'm running out of space, so I'm just going to put stuff on top of the guide. This is a stepper motor. A stepper motor will go to different positions, so it's not just a going around and around fast motor. It's something that turns to specific positions, so a lot more robotic oriented than your typical motor. Okay, that's the awesome LED setup. That's like a whole bunch of goodness right there. There's also, I think, the integrated circuit. Who knows, maybe the integrated circuit's somehow related to this, makes the LED work, LED stuff work. Who knows? Anyway, that's really nice. That's going to be fun. And these, here are the DuPont, or whatever it's called. What did it call that? DuPont wire. I guess FF DuPont wire simply means these servo style cables, which is pretty awesome. I've actually been wanting some of these anyway. So now I have a bunch, and it's in rainbow colors, which is even better. All right, and this is the expansion board. It just looks like a bunch of sockets. Doesn't look like there's any chips on here. This is meant to plug stuff into, but it has, it's got a little reset switch. Test switch. I just pushed them both. Pretty proud of myself. And I guess those are to do something. I don't know what the heck that's for, but I think it probably sandwiches directly onto the Uno board because it's, it might just be a way to break out the capabilities of the connections of the Uno board. And that is here, and that's in a sealed static shield bag. But this is the Arduino, the most intelligent part, the Uno board. And last thing is a mini breadboard. So you have two breadboards here. And so this is what you get in your kit. Pretty impressive, and I can't wait to try it all out step by step when I take my online Arduino course. So that's an overview of the Banggood Arduino starter kit. Okay, just a couple extra little notes now that I've had a chance to put the camera down and unpack it a little bit more. Here is the Uno board, and actually on top of it is this expansion board. And so this itself is the heart of the system. It says Uno on it. And you'll notice that plugged into it we have a USB cable, so that plugs in the top here. And then down here the 9-volt battery could plug into that, or you could just put a AC adapter and put in a power supply. I don't know what range of voltage it accepts. If it has to be 9, or if it maybe 12 is okay, or 5 volts. I'll find that out soon. And I did try plugging in this expansion board, and it does plug in. You can see that the this shorter row of pins goes into these headers, and this longer row of pins goes into these headers, and it goes on top kind of like that. And I did manage to line it up and put it in, and it does fit, and it does go all the way in, but it requires a bit of convincing. Let's just say that the assembly isn't perfectly straight. You can kind of see how they made all the components good enough, but they didn't put any extra quality, at least in this. But it's good enough to function, to work. So that should be cool. Here are the various LEDs, and they look actually really nice quality, but you've got quite a variety. And also you notice this one's bigger, so it's a single one, but it's noticeably bigger than the 4 in a row here. And that's the integrated circuit. Happens to be in the same bag. And this is that display I was talking about. It still has the protective film on the top, but I have a feeling this is like a grayscale dot matrix display. Like you can display serious pictures on it. I think that's pretty impressive. If it's color, that's even more impressive. I really don't know. And I think what I wanted to show is that these so-called DuPont cables, which is a new term I learned, are like the female version of the jumper cables. So you can plug jumper cables into the DuPont. So that makes it a pretty versatile cabling system. And interestingly, the jumper wires are all just loose, and they're zip tied or cable twisty tied together. But the DuPont ones are like stuck together, so you have to peel them off as you need them, I guess. Next one is the motor controller and the stepper motor plugged into each other, and that looks like it plugs in fine, and that's going to work. And there's really nothing else except for the fact that this little storage box, I guess I understand why they included it, because you've got all kinds of tiny little things. And it's kind of a funky little box. It has like a spring-loaded top, and it's almost looks like it can like stack with other ones, but I'm not exactly sure I could do that. And these, I still don't know what these are, but those are all your little doohickeys. I know that those red things are light sensors, and I have a feeling there might be a couple capacitors in there, but we'll definitely see what those are. So that's a little bit more of a look at some of the components in the kit. Overall, pretty impressive. If all these components actually work, then I'll be pretty impressed and have a lot of fun.